Good afternoon, friends. This is Jayashrii with the Finding Freedom podcast. This week, we have another great inquiry, and it is, I'd love to hear some words related to the variation of phenomena. Is there any importance in the distinction between mystical experiences and mundane ones? Should one pay any attention to, quote, strange events or certain feelings? If what I perceive is illusory, are there any phenomena that are helpful or just misguiding? Another really excellent topic, and it comes up a lot on the spiritual path. I will defer to a couple of different teachers of mine, Ramana Maharshi being one of them. He would, when students would come to him and have this type of an inquiry or question, he would say, all visions, all of those types of things are of the mind. They're mind stuff. John Butler says the same thing, in fact. So, anything that we may see, for example, Papaji, he had an incredible awakening experience. I know I just diverted. I'll get back to John Butler. But Papaji had an awakening experience as a very young boy. And his mother didn't understand it. She was a Krishna devotee and encouraged him that this was a vision of Krishna. And so, not knowing what he had encountered in his awakening, he just took her word for it. And for the next 25 years, he would chant Krishna mantras and have visions of Krishna. And finally, one day, he actually came to Ramana Maharshi, who told him to let that go. And that sort of put him off, and he didn't. He left the Ramana Maharshi ashram, and then eventually came back and conceded that, yeah, this was a distraction. It was a diversion. The experience of self-realization is beyond duality and doesn't take any form. So if we get attached to a form, even if it's a vision of something pleasurable, if it's a blissful experience, for example, we'll get attached to that blissful experience because why wouldn't we, Or if it's a vision of some incredible deity or ascended master, we'll get very attached to that and we'll assign meaning to it, but it serves as a distraction. All of our attachments do. So while you can enjoy the experience, we really want to move beyond it and realize that emptiness is form, form is emptiness. And self-realization isn't found within the scope of duality of opposites, of names and labels and forms. It's an expansion that includes everything. Again, I'll refer to my favorite quote from Nisargadatta Maharaj, which is, wisdom is knowing I am nothing, love is knowing I am everything, and between the two, my life moves. So, our essence is the one consciousness. I am that I am. The most profound statement. And a step above that is the level of form. Our lives that appear to be so ultra important. So we just continue coming back to presence, always, the consciousness that we are, and letting go attachments, anything that no longer serves us. Meditation is the ultimate panacea for everything. And it will, meditation happens to us. We don't do meditation. Awakening involves grace and involves, it happens in so many ways. There's no right way or wrong way. There are no mistakes. And, if a vision encourages us to stay on the spiritual path, well, great. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with visions or mystical experiences. But I'm I just happen to be very simple about it. I think that, and I don't know anything. So this is just my point of view on the subject. Take it or leave it. I'm not an expert. But I always come back to simplicity and knowing that the mind is what we are transcending. And so I think that's a very simple answer to this often asked question. It's often during meditation, it's discouraged for us to look for any type of experience. It's sort of along the same lines. We are discouraged to look for a particular experience in meditation because then if we don't have that, we'll get discouraged. Or if we do have an incredible experience, we'll always want to have it again. So again, that's more attachment. And what we're doing is we're letting go the idea of the illusion of a separate self. The subject-object orientation. I need this in order to get that. So in self-realization, it becomes very clear that there is no separate self. And the self that is realized with a capital S is consciousness. It's an emanation of God, the divine. Love, peace. And so there's nothing less than that. There's nothing greater than that. And we don't want to settle for anything less. And we'll know when we have experienced our true self. It's not something that can be described because it's beyond opposites, beyond duality. And only we can know. We can't know it until we've been there or are there. Let me know what your thoughts are. Share your experiences. And please comment below. Feel free to share a topic that you'd like to delve into on a future podcast. Feel free to like and share this with a friend. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube. I send you light, love, and presence. Namaskar.